So if I made a public static void doThings method, can anybody tell me how I can invoke this method? How do I invoke the doThings method? Right. We can't invoke this method by just typing in doThings. That's impossible. We can't do that because doThings exists in another class. We can't say product1.doThings. We can't do that either. The reason we can't do it is because I define static as the opposite of instance, which means that the doThings method is not carried around with every object that's instantiated. So, what do we have to do instead? Well, we reference the class directly by typing in product using the same casing as the class, and then we do doThings. So a static member is a member that is owned by the class and not by the objects that are instantiated from the class. So that's why main is static. I'm sure a lot of people may have been wondering during this class, as I've been talking about what classes are, what object-oriented programming is, what members are and methods are, and so on. You might be wondering, well, okay, so I get that you need to instantiate a product in order to use a display method, because display is an instance method, right? We have to instantiate a product in order to invoke display. So does that mean that the operating system instantiates a class to invoke main? The answer is no, because main is static. Main always has to be static. In fact, I can prove that program is never instantiated by creating a constructor for program. And hitting F5. Program is never instantiated. It's never instantiated because main has to be static. And when you invoke a static method, you do not need an instantiation of that object. Instead, you reference that class directly and you invoke that member. So this method is not carried along with product.